guys, to get back out on the water, do a little fishing, try to get y'all another video coming out. What I want to bring to y'all today, I had a viewer question me, I say hit me up the other day asking about the Fluke. And we, in one of our videos, can't remember, I think it was a morning to remember, we put in there on how we rigged, just a quick brief synopsis on how we rigged this Fluke, and he had some questions about it, so I figured I'd make a video on it. On the Fluke, it's a deadly bait when it comes to schooling fish, fishing over top of grass. I mean, man, it's got so many applications. We use it here on Lake Murray a lot of times when the fish are schooling. It's just one of those go-to baits. We can work it underneath the water. We can work it on the surface. It's a real erratic bait. It's one that when you're working it, you want to work it really erratic. You want to be popping that thing and going with it. The more erratic, I think, the more bites you get. Now we will do like a jerk pause, and sometimes that little pause in between your jerks will initiate a bite, get one to go ahead and commit that might have been following it. Might get them to go ahead and commit. But before we get into all that, let's get into the Fluke. What we use here, and I keep it simple. It's just a standard Zoom Super Fluke, and normally that's my go-to colors of white. I don't vary from that a whole lot. I just keep it simple and fish it. I know a lot of people do different color waters, stuff like that. Most of the time I'm fishing it in a clear water situation. Rigging wise, oh, if I can get bent around here. Rigging wise, and this is where one of his main questions come in, was about part of the rig. The way we rig it, and I normally, just depending on, like I say, we're fishing very clear water. We're talking 5, 6, 7 foot visibility on average. Sometimes it can get up to an 8, 9, depending on sunshine and how tall you are. I'm relatively short, so mine's cut down a little bit, but it's normally clear water. So I try to go with a 10, 12 pound test line. Know a lot of guys throw this on a spinning rod and drop down to like an 8. Some go 6. I don't. I'm after big fish or bigger size fish. I want one that if I hook that 6, 7 pounder or better, I want a fighting chance to get it in. Maybe one day I'll accept the challenge and go some lighter lines, but I like my heavier line. But again, 10, 12 pound test line all day long. I throw it on a bait caster, 7 foot long. You got this boy Duckett medium action. When I get that, I got it this past year. Love it, absolutely love it for jerk bait fishing. But just standard bait casting reel, like I say, medium action, 7 foot rod, something with soft tip. I like a soft, fast tip on a rod that I'm doing any kind of jerk bait fishing. Or the rig, see if I can get it in here close enough for y'all can see it. Basically, it's a 16, 18 inch leader. I use the same line that I've got here. Basically, I'll come down to my swivel. I use a Palomar knot right in here on top of the swivel, and the tag that's left over becomes my leader down here. From there, tie it on, and like I said, anywhere between that 16, 18 inches. 18 is a little better in case you do break off. It gives you some before you go get a new leader. Now the hook gets a little more in detail, and the swivel gets a little more in detail. All right. Putting the hook in the spook, or putting the hook in the Fluke. There's a couple ways to do this. There's a couple ways to do it, and there's reasons why I do it the way I do it. And this thing gets rigged 500,000 different ways, but this is just how I do it. I'm not saying it's the best. It just works for me, so I'm passing it along to y'all. Is just to come through the nose of your bait, just like you would on a Texas rig. Come through. You want to come straight in, and where you've got this open spot in the Fluke, you want to bring it out as far back as we can in there. And then we're going to slide it up. If you're using a straight shake hook, or if you're using the extra wide gap, I like the extra wide gap. Gives me a little more flexibility. Gives a little more meat between the tip and the shank right here for this Fluke to collapse and get the hook in the fish's mouth. But regardless, either one, you want to slide it all the way up, bring it all the way out, and then I'm going to hook it coming the back side of the gap And we're gonna stick it in there. I can't do this and turn it over where y'all can see it's been a little difficult, but hey, we'll get it. But that's it. Simple like that. I will expose the back side here and come out just a little bit and then go back in. But 6 1/2 dozen other. I like to run mine as straight as possible from here to here. You can put a belly in it to get it to walk a little bit better, depending on every piece of plastic is different. So if you need more action out of it, push this up a little bit before you put your hook in, get your belly going on in here, and you can get more action out of it. But that's my standard way of rigging it. When they're really biting it, I can run it just like this. They'll bite it, they hold it long enough that I can go back and get a hook set on. The option is if these fish are being, they're not really eating, they're killing, I guess would be the easiest way to say it. They're just basically coming up trying to kill it. It's frustrating because there's a lot of big fish and you see them right there and they come up and they're behind it. You'll have 3 or 4 behind it that's anywhere between 4 and 6 pounds. And all they're doing is trying to kill it. But what I will do is we'll take this out. Let's undo it. Come on, work with me. Now this is a used Fluke. We've caught probably 10, 15 fish on this thing. I'm trying to get it to hold together for us for the demonstration. But, all right, what we do here is you take your hook. A lot of times I do it as I'm fishing, so I don't change this hook up. I'll still stick with that 2/0 or whatever size I'm running. You can go to a circle hook, a smaller size circle hook, half the size of this, because you don't need a big hook to do this presentation or adaptability to the hookup. But what we want to do is come back roughly halfway between the top of the slit and the nose. You just want to come in there, come from the belly side, and go straight through it, and come right out the head, and hook it just like that. But that is the 2 different ways that you can actually put the Fluke on your hook, depending on the situation, depending on the fish's mood. The hook, normally a 2/0 is the standard of what I throw. If I need to get some weight to this bait, I need to get it down. If I need to get it down and fish a little bit faster, I will upsize this hook to make it turn into a weight. So if that 2/0's not sinking it enough for you, go to 3/0, go to 4/0, and it gets you down in the water column a little bit more. Same way with the swivel. The swivel's an extra weight to help you get this bait down under the water, whether it be 6 inches, whether it be 8 inches, and allow you to still work it really fast and not have this skipping up out the top of the water. Now, at the end of the day, swivel is to keep the twist out your line. This thing is going to twist. It's going to flip-flop, turn upside down. It's going to do all kind of crazy stuff. But it will twist up your line. So at the end of the day, the swivel is for the twist. But the swivel and the hook, you can change those out and play with them and make the world of difference in how many fish you actually bring home or how many fish you catch behind the angler that just came through there. But guys, that's basically, that is the rig. Simple as it is. It's not complicated, but it is a bait that is very, very effective on schooling fish. The applications that you can put this in are so many, whether it be a cross top of submerged grass, whether it be, which we don't have a whole lot of, standing timber, stuff like that, suspending fish. We're fixing to go in a season where the fish are going to be out there suspending in 30 foot of water. But this is one of those key baits for that. Guys, if y'all got any questions about the Fluke, about how to rig it, how to work it, give me a shout out, give me a comment. Let me know. But I'm gonna start doing some of these type videos for y'all. I'm gonna try to get them out a little bit more in depth now that we got some audio recording equipment and I'm still learning how to use it, but we're gonna try to go into a little bit more of the where, when, why, the hows when we're doing what we're doing. Videos you haven't been able to see a whole lot or hear a whole lot yet to know what we've been doing, but we're gonna try to go into that a little bit more now that we've got this equipment. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. Stay with us, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.